Hello again, this is Val the Regattas. Welcome back to my channel. I've enjoyed all these videos that I make for you, and I hope you do learn something from them. Most recently, I acquired what was called a cleaver fleece from a local shepherd. He breeds prize Corriedales, and I've had some of his Corriedale fleeces before. He shows regularly. He has premium flocks, but he raises for meat. Let's get over that. He raises for meat. Now, I know some of you do not want to even think about sending your sheep to slaughter, and I understand that. That is very understandable because they are near and dear to you. But being raised on a farm, a dairy farm that raised dairy and hogs, I'm familiar with the livestock. So he raises Corriedales mainly for the lamb market. That's how he makes his money. I asked him if he had any fleeces that were available. I was out of Corriedale, and I love spinning Corriedale. He didn't have any premiums fleeces in stock at the moment, but he said, well, I have a few cleaver fleeces from the spring. And I thought, what does he mean by cleaver? Oh, was that a misspelling? Clever fleece? I have no idea. Well, I found out from other shepherds that it's common practice to shear the sheep prior to taking them to market. Unfortunately, that's a fact of life. However, I took his cleaver fleeces, no idea of quality, and of course he must have sheared them in a hurry because there was a lot of VM, there was a lot of seconds, there was a lot of waste. So I went ahead and culled out what was the best of the fleeces. I must have brought home 30 pounds, and I threw 15 pounds of it away. It was not even good for dryer balls. It was basically trash or compost. And here in my area, a lot of the meat shepherds, they just throw it away. There's just no point in them trying to sell it. It may only bring 5 cents a pound on the wool market. So I have scoured it, I have carted it, and it really spins pretty well. I'm having to pick out some seconds or little fuzz balls or whatever. But the point is, don't be afraid to take a fleece from someone that raises the sheep for meat. Sometimes, particularly if they show those sheep, they are promoting that breed, the conformation, the fleece quality, the characteristics of that specific breed. And this shepherd, for instance, shows in multi-states. If you can find a breeder that does that, you will be very pleased with some of his fleeces. The micron count for the Corriedale is extremely low. This one must be a little bit higher than I'm normally used to with his prize sheep, but he has bred to where he has premium ewes that are supreme ranking, not first, supreme. And some of those fleeces are outstanding. So don't overlook your local shepherd that breeds for meat. Take one of them. Another thing I want to look at in this video, just veering off from the fleeces entirely, are the different types of wheels. There's been a lot of discussion about Greenstick wheels lately. This one I rehabbed, and I'll take the camera off the tripod here shortly so we can look at it closer. This one in particular, I've had to do a lot of repairs to. One thing you might notice, it's awfully short for me. Look at my elbow in comparison to that hub. I did notice when I was renovating the wheel, 2 or 3 of the spokes were a little bent. That makes me think they probably used a wool finger with it. And I have a wool finger, and I've tried it with it, and it works out really quite well. The Greenstick has a few little strange little things that we need to be aware of. It's a southern wheel. Typical characteristics of a southern wheel are the groove in the rim and a very slanted table that we'll look at here in a moment. and most of them are single drive. They are not accelerator heads. Most of them are single drives with a male post, not a female. So there's some characteristics there. There's lots of different referrals to a southern wheel, such as a slider block, or in this case, a Greenstick. And if you study on them a great deal, you'll find there are multiple and many variations, not only on the Greenstick, but the slider block in particular. The slider block is a mechanism that slides back and forth on the bottom or on the top of the table, and it usually screws down to tighten, and that's how you move the mother of all. But we'll take a look at this one a little bit closer, and maybe you'll understand the Greenstick. Some of the Greensticks you need to be aware of: the spindle post. The problem with those, they're 150 years old, and someone gets really aggressive adjusting the tension on that Greenstick, and it cracks the spindle post. And when we look at it, you'll understand why. Most of the spindle post on the Greensticks might have been from hickory, ash, Osage orange. If we think of the Greenstick as a 150-year-old longbow for hunting, that's basically what they did, because the Greenstick does not swivel. It only increases the tension with the screw. So the wood itself is having to flex, which you have to be extremely careful of. The Greenstick in particular, you might think of it as a tensionless spinning wheel. Put a drive band on there as tight as you can. Adjust it, adjust it, adjust it, and then only a tiny little fractional adjustment on the tension with the screw. Don't try and adjust the tension by ratcheting that screw, because you're going to break the Greenstick, and you don't want to do that. Most Greensticks, as I understand from Ravelry, are from the Blue Ridge Mountains. So they've come a little ways. This one came from East Peoria. How it got to be there, I have no idea. But let's take a closer look at that tension adjustment. Maybe you'll understand it a little better. It's a cute little wheel, spins wonderfully. I've done a lot of repairs to it, and it's come back to life. But you gotta be careful with that tension post with a Greenstick. Treat it like a tensionless, and only adjust the final tension a tiny bit with that screw. Here we are again, looking at the Greenstick tension, but you can see the very slanted wheel. That's very typical of the table, I should say, the slanted table of southern wheels, and also the grooved rim, very typical for southern wheels, and the male post with the single drive, mother of all. Something else that we really want to look at closely is that Greenstick tension. Now, sometimes the spindle post is rounded. It's carved as a round. This one you can see is very thin. That would be very similar to a longbow, wouldn't it? But to adjust the tension, this is what you do. And really, the only thing that has screws or screw threads are the spindle post. It's not here in the receiver. It's only in the spindle post on this one. So I've adjusted the band as tight as I can, treating it like a tensionless wheel. And so now I'm only going to give it a tiny little fractional turn to put that final tension on the spindle post. Do not go at it aggressively, or else you'll crack the bottom of it. We don't want that to happen. I hope you enjoy this little video, learning a little more about Greenstick tensions from a Blue Ridge mountain, but I think you'll learn a lot from it and enjoy them. They're beautiful little wheels. But I think you'll also enjoy spinning a fleece from a local shepherd. Take a look, make friends. You'll learn so much. Happy spinning. Bye-bye.